Following the arrival of the monsoon rains, the sowing of key crops such as rice, pulses and cotton is underway in the north of the country. To ensure a good harvest, millions of farmers depend on access to cheap fertilisers. But their prices have been rising steeply. Shilpa Kannan's been to Haryana in the north of the country to find out what farmers are doing to ensure they have an affordable supply.
The monsoon has arrived in northern India and the rain-fed farmlands are getting ready for the next season. But paddy farmer Shamsher Singh is a worried man. He has spent a substantial portion of his savings on buying fertilizers for planting his crop. Now he'll need more money to buy fertilizers for the next phase of growth. And he can't afford it.
The
cost of fertilizers is going up constantly. But the prices we get from our crops hasn't gone up. How can we buy fertilizers if it continues to be like this? We have to stop farming. We just can't afford to be farmers anymore.
The Indian Farmers Fertilizer Cooperative owns a quarter of the market share in the country. Even though the government subsidizes the price by nearly 85%, farmers say fertilizers are responsible for the bulk of their production costs. At the local supply center, farmers are queuing up to buy.
These farmers are not just consumers, but also the owners of this fertilizer cooperative, which is now India's biggest fertilizer company. It's a unique business enterprise which is owned by over 5.5 million farmers who are the shareholders of this company.
One successful project that IFFCO has implemented involves growing pulses along with regular crops to naturally fix the nitrogen levels in the soil. This increases the productivity. There is more pressure than ever on India's farmers to produce more food. And IFFCO says the solution lies in exploring alternatives to the traditional chemical fertilizers.
We have to blend chemical along with traditional, organic and carbon, and compost and macronutrient, crop rotation. We must do it. And with that I can tell you our productivity increase. If our productivity increases by 25%, and average you see, the food grain production will be 300 million tons.
But the demand for fertilizers is growing constantly. Controlling the prices have meant that the government subsidy bill has grown steadily, affecting the country's fiscal deficit. Many have called for the government to partially or fully withdraw subsidies. But experts say that poor farmers cannot afford to pay the real market rates.
Whether it is UK or US or Europe, everywhere farmers are subsidized. I mean, that's something which is the law of the agriculture, in a sense you can say it. And the kind of subsidies that the European and the Western farmers get, whether the Chinese farmers get, in that sense the Indian farmers are not getting to that level. It's even not even 1/10 of it. It's maybe 1% of the subsidies that they get. So in a sense you have to keep subsidizing agriculture if you want agriculture to grow and if you want people to basically keep increasing their productivity or yields.
At the wholesale market, bags of grain are being brought in to be cleaned and distributed. As fertilizer prices go up, food prices will go up too. The bulk of the farmers in the country have small land holdings, so they need help to raise the productivity of their land. As they face more and more pressure to increase food production, the demand for fertilizers is likely to grow even further.
We'll be taking a short break now, but stay with us on India Business Report, because when we come back,